Assalamu alaikum. Dear student, this is lecture number 4 and today we will discuss topic muscular system. This is the second most important system of our body for movement. We have discussed the skeletal system in the previous lecture. Now the muscular system. All kind of movements in animals are possible by system of muscles. Like if fish can swim or earthworm crawls, mosquito flies, kangaroo jumps, or even us humans walk. These all types of movement are possible just because of the presence of muscles. Muscles which are made up of muscle tissues. Further, the muscle cells, which are the basic units, together these cells form the muscle tissues and then the muscles. These muscle cells are basically the region where the pulling force is generated for the movement so that muscle shorten or contracts, and this allows animal to move. Without this pulling force, muscles cannot even skeleton cannot support you for the support any animal for the movement. So muscles are very important for movement and support as well. Muscles present in all animals, like from the unicellular protoctist to the higher vertebrates as well. In unicellular protoctist, the muscles which are present are non-striated muscle fibers, which helps in the movement of the protoctist unicellular organisms, while in invertebrates, the smooth muscles are present. Invertebrates and arthropods from the invertebrates, they have striated muscles. We will discuss all these three types of muscles in detail in further slides. Here is an important point that there are more than 600 muscles in human body, and men and women both have same number of muscles and same number of bones in their bodies. Now we will look what things muscle do in our body. The movement of our eyelid is possible because of the presence of muscles. Movement of our tongue, even the beat, our heart beat because of the muscles, cardiac muscles, and because of the heartbeat, the blood is pumped through the heart and reaches the body, different parts of our body. Muscles help in pushing of food through the gut or the digestive tract. It also helps in discharge of the waste products from our body. It brings out secretion from the glands. It also maintains gaseous exchange, that is the respiration. Now the types of muscles. There are three types of muscles in our body. That is the skeletal muscles, cardiac muscles, and smooth muscles. As their names indicates, skeletal muscles, they are basically associated with the skeleton. They are attached to the bones. That's why they are named as skeletal muscles. Then cardiac muscles, the word cardiac means heart. These muscles are present only in our heart. That's why they are known as cardiac muscles. The smooth muscles, they are present in the hollow organs, our internal soft and hollow organs. Here is a comparison between these three types of muscles, that is skeletal, smooth, and cardiac muscles. Skeletal muscles, as I have told you before, these are associated with bones, while the smooth muscles are present in the hollow organs like our gut and urinary bladder, etc. Cardiac muscles are present only in our heart. Skeletal muscles are voluntary in nature. What does it mean? Voluntary in nature means if we want to move our hand, our brain will give the signal to that particular muscle which will contract and we can move our hand then, right? But the smooth muscles and cardiac muscles are involuntary in nature, which means We don't have to order, our brain don't have to order for that movement of the muscle. They will move or contract involuntarily without without our notice. Like the digestion, our digestive tract, or the blood vessels, the blood is going through our body without our without in our notice. Similarly, our heart is continuously beating. This is because of the involuntary nature of cardiac muscles. Skeletal muscles are striated, which means under a microscope there are stripes present on these muscles. That's why they are called as striated muscles. Smooth muscles are non-striated. There are no stripes present on these muscles. Cardiac muscles are also striated, just like skeletal muscles. Then skeletal muscles are multinucleated. Multinucleated means they have number of nucleuses present in their cells, while the smooth muscles are uninucleated. Uni means one, so they have only single nucleus, while the cardiac muscles can be uninucleated or binucleated, which means they can either have one nucleus, or bi means two, or two nucleus. Skeletal muscles can contract strongly and rapidly. Rapidly means very fastly. While they help in the movement of our skeleton, as they are associated with the skeletal our skeleton. That's why they are called as skeletal muscles, right? Smooth muscles, they push food through our digestive tract. They are also responsible for the our urinary bladder to empty, and controls the diameter of our blood vessels and diameter of pupil of our eye, right? And they are also responsible for the control of erection of the hair of our skin. If you have noticed, whenever we are threatened or we feel some cold, we have goosebumps. These goosebumps, our hair on the skin get erected, right? This is controlled by the smooth muscles. Cardiac muscles can withstand high pressure, and that's why the heart continuously beats and these muscles don't get fatigued, or they don't get tired. These contraction which are present in our heart are rhythmic in nature, and these rhythmic contractions are known as heartbeat. Now we will see the structure of skeletal muscles and how they work. What is the mechanism of contraction of these skeletal muscles? Skeletal muscles are directly attached to our bones. This is a bone and this is the skeletal muscle present, right? They are directly attached to the bone. You can see here it is attached to the bone from in this center region, but few muscles terminate and form a tough non-elastic tissue which is known as tendon. This tough non-elastic tissue is known as tendon, right? And these tendons connects the skeletal muscles to the bones, to the joint of the bone. Right here, in here you can see these are the tendons, right? Muscles must attach at 2 points for movement. A single muscle have to attach to two different points for movement to occur, right? And these 2 points are known as origin and insertion. Origin is the point which is stationary, which means the part which we don't want to move or which do not move, like our shoulder don't move. So this part where the tendon is attached is origin, and the second part of the tendon which is attached to the movable bone is known as insertion. Like if this muscle contracts, the forearm of our body will move upward because of the contraction of this muscle, right? So origin is the part which is non-movable, while the insertion is the point where the muscle is attached to the movable part of the bone. Now the structure of the skeletal muscles. This is really a complicated structure, but if you will understand it step by step, it will be easy for you. Like, this is the whole muscle in our arm, and if we take a small section from this muscle, we will get a small bundle, muscle bundle, which is known as muscle bundle. And this single strand of the muscle is muscle bundle, and this muscle bundle is composed of a number of muscle fibers present in this single bundle, right? Then we extracted a single muscle fiber from this bundle. Now this is this muscle fiber here, enlarged to elaborate that there are further more structure present in this single muscle fiber, right? And these are the myofibril. This structure is called as myofibril. Then we extract a single myofibril from this muscle fiber. Now this is the diagram of a myofibril, how it looks, right? And this is formed of a number of sarcomer. This is a single region which is in the box and separated by this purple patch. This is sarcomer, and here it is in the enlarged form. So basically this is the region, sarcomer, which is responsible for contraction. Whole of the contraction occurs, the phenomena of the contraction occurs here, and ultimately our muscle will cause movement, right? Okay, these sarcomers are basically separated by each other. Like, this is sarcomer, this is sarcomer, this is another sarcomer. These sarcomer are separated by Z line, darker bands, which is known as, this is the line which is known as Z line, right? And the sarcomer in the previous slide, this sarcomer have two filaments or microfilaments present inside it. Here you can see a rounded overlapped structure, this thin structure here and here, and this is the thick structure, right? These two types are microfilaments. The thin is known as actin filament, while the thick is known as myosin filament. Sarcomers are composed of these two microfilaments, that is actin filament, the thin one, and the myosin filament, the thicker one. Now, to understand the further regions present in the sarcomer that were explained are, this was the Z line, the darker band. Then there are few lighter bands present in the region where the actin filaments are present, thin filaments are present. That region is known as I band, the lighter band or I band, right? Then there is a region where the thicker filaments are present, or myosin filaments are present. This is the thicker filaments, the myosin filament, and this region where the thicker filament or myosin filament is present is known as A band, right? There are two bands, I band and A band. I band, the region where only thin filament present. Then the region where the thick filament or myosin is present is known as A band, right? And as you can see, here is the region where the thin and thick filaments overlapped on each other, right? So we are distinguishing these regions by another zone which is known as H zone. Remember these four things: Z line, I band, A band, and H zone. H zone is basically the zone where only thick filaments are visible here and no overlapping with the thin filaments. This was the structure. Now we will understand how the contraction of a skeletal muscle occurs, the mechanism of the contraction, right? To understand that, there is a theory proposed by Huxley. Huxley proposed a theory known as sliding filament theory. and this theory is based on electron microscopic observations. According to Huxley, thin filaments of a muscle fiber move together by sliding over thick filaments, right? Remember, the thin filaments were actin filament and thick filaments were myosin filaments, right? When these two filaments slide over each other, the muscle contracts. It is just like if you slide the fingers of your right hand over the fingers of your left hand. If you slide both the fingers, you can slide them in and you can slide them out, right? Similar is the movement takes place in the sarcomers, where the thin filament, actin filament, and thick filament, myosin filaments are present. Here, with the help of diagram, you can understand it more easily. Remember, this is the internal structure of the sarcoma, where we are taking only one band of filament, where thin filament and thick filaments are present. These are two conditions. The relaxed condition of the muscle, this is the relaxed condition in which muscle is not contracting, right? This is the normal position of the muscle, where the thin filament and thick filament are overlapped but separated by each other. Here you can see a gap. When the muscle contracts, this is the contracted view. When the muscle contracts, these two filaments slide over each other. Here you can see these are the arrows which are showing the movement of the thin filaments towards each other. These filaments move toward each other, causing the contraction. We will discuss the involvement of the calcium ions and further ions in the next lecture in detail. This is very important lecture because a long question is from this topic. So you have to understand, I am breaking it into two parts. This is the first part, in which we have uh, discuss about the structure, the types, and the mechanism of the contraction. We will discuss in the few more points in next lecture.